Hi there, stampers. This is Sarah, neighbor with Sarah Loves to Stamp. And today I'm bringing you a video. One of my customers who's purchased the Big Shot had requested that I do a series of videos on the different Big Shot things you can run through it. So the dies, and today's we're doing the embossing folders. And so I wanted to just talk a little bit about the platform before I actually bring my Big Shot in here. This multi-purpose platform really tells you everything you need to know about how to run things through it, but you know, sometimes, like today, there's several different things I use my embossing folders for, and so I'll show you that, but here's your general rules, okay? The general rule is here, it shows you that there's one of the embossing folders. I know it may not really look like it, but it says a 4-inch folder or wider. And so that would be your big ones that you use for the full card front, like this one. This one's in the holiday catalog, but these ones that are large and would be like a whole card size. And then if it's not that size, then you need to flip to the next tab, and it tells you that. It tells you 2.5-inch embossing folder. So the general rule here is to use it on this tab 1 for your full-size embossing folders, and to use it on this no tabs part of the platform when you have smaller than the full card size ones. Okay, so examples of that are like the frames and these ones for the edges, the border ones. Okay, so the ones that are smaller than, you know, your full card size. Alright, so now we'll get into the actual Big Shotting, and I'll show you that there are a few exceptions to this rule. I hope you enjoy, and I hope this is helpful. The embossing folders are my favorite thing to do with the Big Shot, so I hope you like it. And, okay, now on to the fun part. So this Big Shotting with the embossing folders is my favorite way to use it. I think I already said that in the kind of intro part. So the first way I'm going to show you is just real simply with one of our full-size folders, and when I do it just with regular cardstock, I do it on this tab here, tab 1. So I've pulled back tab 2, stuck that through the machine already, and so I'm on tab 1, which is what it says to do. So that one's an easy one to remember. And then I put a clear plate down, and then I need to grab here's my cardstock. I'm using Daffodil Delight, and I'm using the Chevron folder. It's my favorite folder in the new catalog, so I can't get enough of it. I'm kind of obsessed. And so I'm just going to position it in there how I want, and then close it, and then I'm going to hold it pretty tight while I set it down so that my paper doesn't move. Now, I don't think that often your paper will move, but I'm just extra careful. And then you put your clear plate on top of it. So my sandwich is the tab 1 platform, and then the clear plate, and then my folder with the cardstock in it. Oh, and I forgot to say this, I'll just let up for a second. Hopefully you can see, I put this zig side up. I don't know that it really matters, but I do that. And then I put the other clear plate on top. And then I'm going to roll it through. Okay. And I just hold on to the thing on the top and crank with my right hand. If you're left-handed, just reverse it. And then you can grab your folder and you can open it up, and your cardstock will be beautifully embossed, okay? And then you can choose which side you want to use. You can use this side, which actually the chevrons look a little smaller, like the actual embossed up part. The chevrons are like a little narrower, and there's bigger spaces between them. Or this is the side I usually use, where the chevrons are a little bigger and the spaces between them are smaller. So it's up to you. You can always have that option with our embossing folders, because there's no specific right way. I did mean to mention also, when using the embossing folders, if you're going to adhere that to a card, I always use, let me grab it, I use this Tombow I think in our catalog it's called the Multipurpose liquid glue or something like that. But I'll put the link up or not the link, but I'll put the number up. I can't link to it in my actual store, so I'll put up the product number so you know what I'm talking about. But I always use that liquid glue to adhere it, because then it can get, you know, when you put it on the back, it can get in all those little grooves and stuff, and it just holds really well. I think it holds better than the tape runner, so I wanted to mention that. Alright, on to our new Coordinations cardstock, and this is in the holiday catalog this year. And so it's just plain, like this was espresso, and this is the early espresso one, and it's textured on one side, so I put the textured side up. And then you can see I ran this through. I wanted to show you guys this before I'm having another video that will be about these and the sanding tools that go with them. So I will go ahead and link to that like right above here now, so that you can go to that video if you want. But anyway, so I wanted to show you before I sanded it, and I'll show this in the other video too, but it kind of like, you can see the lighter color come through. So if you don't want that to come through, if you just want it to be like textured and plain, mine it's too much pressure. So I need to relieve some pressure. So that means I need to go to the next lowest tab, which is no tabs. Oops. And so I'm going to go ahead and put that through there. And so I'm on the no tab section now. And this is the Woodgrain folder that's in the holiday catalog. I'm so excited about Woodgrain. Great for masculine cards. So I wanted to show you guys that. So again, I'll put down my clear plate. And I'll show it to you guys with another one of our new embossing folders in the holiday catalog. And I'll also put that up above. And then I think it's called Elegant Brocade. I could totally be wrong though. And then this is the Cherry Cobbler Coordinations. I don't know if you can see that it's textured, but it's beautiful. And so I'm just going to put that in my embossing folder and get it lined up how I want it. Which usually for me is just straight. I mean, if you want to line it up so that it's even on both sides, mine actually is pretty darn even for me not really worrying about it. And then again, I put the Sizzix side up and I put my clear plate on top, and I'm just being really careful to put a lot of pressure there as I put it in, and then I'm rolling it through. When I say a lot of pressure, I mean like just when I put this plate on top, I was just like pressing on top so that the folder couldn't move. Oh, that's so pretty. See, and so it has a beautiful image, and you can see that like on the tops of it, it's not cracked at all, which is what I had with this one. So, so if you want to just leave it, if you just want to have a textured piece and you're not going to sand it, you know, you can do it this way and put it with no tabs through. And that's, you know, a good tip for you if you're using any kind of thicker cardstock. And then again, this one, I'm going to sand it anyway, so I think it'll be fine. But, you can check out my other video and we'll see if it'll be fine. So that's no tabs. And that, and then I wanted to mention to you again about this, you know, I talked to you a little bit in the kind of intro part about this being the right size, like it's the smaller embossing folder, to use no tabs when you have those. And I wanted to show you why. And I don't know if you can see it on here, but this is one of our frame embossing folders, and I love this one. You can put the white oval punch in the middle, so I do that a lot with sentiments. It looks beautiful. But you can see it doesn't quite cover my whole piece of paper. So what I ended up, I actually did it this way. So what I ended up with are impressions. It did the embossing, but I also got an impression of this edge of the folder, this edge of the folder, and this edge of the folder when I ran it through on that tab 1. So that's why we're going to run it through with no tabs. And so this won't be quite as deep of an impression, but I think you'll see that it's still beautiful and you won't have to worry about having those impression marks. So I'm just going to take my piece, I think it's my piece of Elegant Eggplant here, and I'm going to center it on here. I didn't do a lot of finished products today. I just wanted to show you kind of the techniques I use. And then again, I'm going to put this on top and roll it through. And you'll notice it rolls through a little easier, and that's good because that means probably, well, I still got the dent a little bit. I should have done, when you get these folders, you'll notice they have like an instruction sheet with them. And so if you put like a piece of like really thin cardstock or copy paper over the top, it says it'll help it distribute the pressure more evenly. But yeah, I can still see it a little bit. So try that. I should have cut out an extra piece so I'd have time, so I'd be able to do that as well. And then the last thing I wanted to show you is sometimes you'll want to emboss just part of a card front, or if you have a full card like this and you want to emboss the front of it. I usually never do this because I really stink about getting it lined up. But you can open up your card front and run it through this way. And you want to try and have the pattern all over it. See, the pattern ends before the edge. So you want to work on lining that up correctly. And also you don't want this edge to imprint on the back of your card. So you want to use that on this tab, or no tabs, I'm sorry. So that's that. But also sometimes, I know I did this on a Christmas card last year, I just embossed the bottom, okay? And you have to be smart about how you're doing this because our new folders are bigger. So I don't believe, yeah, see, they won't roll through this way. So if you want to emboss just the bottom, you would have to do it this way, okay? And so I'll go ahead and do it that way. I don't think that's a bad idea anyway. And so you'll get it lined up, and then usually what I do And you could probably use it on tab 1 if you wanted, because usually I put like a piece of ribbon across here anyway. But it's just up to you, whatever you want to do. So I'm going to go ahead and roll that through. Again, I'm on no tabs because I want to try and get no impression there. Or no line, I should say. And I bet I have a line. Yeah, it felt pretty thick when I rolled it through. You can see that line, hopefully. So you can try putting it through the other direction. You know, putting it through this way instead. Or again, put that piece of like copy paper or cardstock over the top to take the pressure and spread it more evenly. So those are just some tips. You know, a lot of it is trying it out because I'll be honest, everybody's machine works differently. I know a demonstrator, and like I said, I always use mine on tab 1 when I'm just doing, like I did with this daffodil cardstock, when I'm just embossing a card front and it's regular cardstock, nothing fancy, when it's a full size. Okay, so here's where I had some audio problems, and I was just saying that I have a demonstrator friend that her machine is different than mine, and she ends up using no tabs every time she embosses, even when she embosses like that piece of daffodil I had. So I was just mentioning that because everybody's will be just a little different, and so that's really just what I was talking about. Your Big Shot, I believe right now what I'm showing is that everyone's Big Shot comes with the same multi-purpose platform, and with 2 of the clear plates that I use. So I wanted to mention that to you guys as well. And that's really it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully I won't have any more of those problems. Oh, there I'm showing you that that's how I store mine. I just kind of put it all together. I put the multi-purpose platform closed, and then both of the clear plates, and then I just roll it about halfway there. And then that's how I carry it around and, you know, put it places with that. But thanks so much for tuning in, and I hope to see you again sometime, and I hope that you watch more of my videos. Head on over to my blog at www.sarahlovestostamp.com, and you can get signed up for my mailing list so you don't miss out on anything. I'll see you guys very soon. Bye.